El Segundo, that place you've seen on a map, but few actually know what it is. So yes, today we're going to talk El Segundo real estate prices, a little bit of history, why the heck are people moving here, and then at the end we'll take a tour of some of the best pockets and streets in El Segundo. And first, a little bit of El Segundo history. Around 1911, a group of men, maybe in black suits, maybe not, were riding on a train heading in the direction of Redondo Beach, which was the popular South Bay beach at the time. But when they hit the area that is now El Segundo, they're like, hey, yo, train dude, stop that train. And then the train dude is like, but there's nothing here. And then they're like, no, but there will be. Turns out these men worked for John D. Rockefeller and chose this area to build an oil refinery. It was their second location on the West Coast, hence the name El Segundo, which is Spanish for the second. Now, naturally, the workers needed a place to live and a community started forming, and for better or worse, that refinery still exists today under the name Chevron. So why the heck are people moving to El Segundo? Like, seriously, why are they moving here? I mean, you're stuck between the Los Angeles International Airport, an oil refinery, and a sewage plant. I mean, if you're gonna be dealing with all of this stuff, this better be a really good place to live. And well, it turns out that it is. One, it has a small town feel that you're not really gonna find in other parts of Los Angeles. I mean, a typical day here can be like, walk down to City Hall, make a complaint about something, walk to the coffee shop, run into Barbara, share your complaint. The point is, because it's one of the smallest and most isolated residential communities in LA, everything is easily accessible and there's a high sense of community. 2, according to niche.com, it is home to some of the best schools in Los Angeles, hence also why El Segundo is a family-oriented neighborhood. And 3, yes, it's a small town, but with a lot of cool factor. I mean, there's a beer called El Segundo. Actually, El Segundo is home to several brewing companies. And actually, if you're into beer, you're gonna love it here. But you also have stuff like one of the few rooftop cinemas in Los Angeles, and then there's Topgolf, where you can stuff your face with more beer and hit a bunch of golf balls. And by the way, my name is Daniel Rangel, real estate agent in Los Angeles, servicing El Segundo. If I can be of any help, it would be an honor. And for a free consultation on buying or selling, you can find my information in the description below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit like or subscribe. But let's get back to the elephants in the room. The airport, the refinery, and the sewage plant. Like, isn't this unhealthy in some way? Well, I don't know exactly, and I encourage you to do your own research, but if we look at this map from the Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment, when it comes to ozone, or one of the main ingredients in air pollution, El Segundo has less air pollution than Beverly Hills. And actually, by this metric, there's also a lot more air pollution in Palm Springs than El Segundo, and actually than Los Angeles in general. And I'll put a link to this map in the description below. Now, that said, that doesn't mean there hasn't been sewage leaks in the water treatment plant in El Segundo, and historically, on a few occasions, residents have reported foul smells. And yes, you will get airplane noises. Now, for what it's worth, airplanes are a lot quieter now than they were 30 years ago. But now for the fun stuff. Let's talk real estate. Now, the median price for a single family house in El Segundo is about $1.9 million, which, if you talk to anyone who bought in the 90s, this is just like insanity. I mean, back then, the main attraction of El Segundo was that it was cheap. Now, it has a higher median price than Redondo Beach. And in the past 10 years, the median price has increased by about 128%, which is somewhat comparable to Santa Monica. Now, the median price for a condo is about $950,000, with an increase of about 83% in the past 10 years, which is not bad, but also not among the highest. But now let's talk neighborhoods, and worth mentioning, it seems like many parts of El Segundo were developed throughout the decades by several different developers, so sometimes it can be hard to say like, this area is cool and this area is not. I mean, for example, one street may have sidewalks and the next one won't. And that's why sometimes in El Segundo, it can be more about the streets than the different pockets. But anyway, one area that does have a little bit more of a consistent feel, which is one of my favorites and the most expensive, is the southwest section west of Main Street and downtown. An interesting fact, some locals refer to El Segundo as Mayberry, the small town from the Andy Griffith Show. And I feel like the streets in this pocket, specifically the ones closest to downtown, best represent that small town residential charm. This is also where you're going to find some of the oldest houses in El Segundo. Now, one of my favorite streets here is Whiting Street because it's one of the most tree-lined streets in this pocket, and you just have like a really nice cozy feel to the area. Now, another major plus for this area is the proximity to downtown. I mean, you can walk to City Hall, chat it up with Barbara, coffee shops, bars, restaurants. Now, the median price for a house here is around $2.2 million. Now, for an interesting hidden little pocket, you got the tiny community of Pacific Landing, located in the center north section of El Segundo. It's a small planned unit development of only like 24 single-family houses. They were built around 2019 and are about 3,000 square feet. And unless you know it's there, it's easy to miss, which is a plus on the privacy factor. Now, the median price for a house here is around $2.3 million. And now here's a list of some of my favorite streets. Number 1, Arena Street. This is by far the most tree-lined, lush street in El Segundo. The street is also super convenient, walking distance to downtown, and right next door to one of the biggest parks. And for some reason, I feel like this is also where Barbara lives. Number 2, Sycamore Avenue, specifically on the northeast side of El Segundo. I just think it's a nice, well-kept street. You also have some of the biggest lots here, with the average size being around 10,000 square feet. Here, you're also going to find one of the biggest houses in El Segundo at about 8,600 square feet on almost 20,000 square feet of land. And number 3, Lomita Street, specifically the northern section. In some areas, it just feels like a nice suburban street with cool, nice houses. In other areas, it sits at the top of a hill, and some of the houses actually get a little bit of views. But yes, El Segundo, aka Mayberry, aka where Barbara lives, is a small family-oriented town with a big cool factor. But let me know what you guys think. Do you live in El Segundo? Been to El Segundo? Hate it? Love it? Put it in the comments below. And by the way, my name is Daniel Rangel, real estate agent in Los Angeles, servicing El Segundo. If I can be of any help, it would be an honor. And for a free consultation on buying or selling, you can find my information in the description below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit like or subscribe. But either way, thanks a bunch for watching and have an awesome day.